Long ago, in the land of Ohio, where the sun painted golden streaks across the lush forest and the rivers sang melodies of old, there ruled a king named Ogwok. He was a man whose heart pulsed not with love for his people but with a hunger for wealth and power. The elders whispered among themselves that he was not born of men but carved from stone, for he felt nothing but the cold touch of greed. One fateful season, a rumor spread across the kingdom that deep within the forbidden caves of Udomarai rested a mountain of gold. It was said that no man had ever returned from the caves, for a mighty dragon, Aganya, guarded the treasure with a wrathful heart. This dragon was ancient, older than the rivers and the trees, and she ruled over the caves with her daughters, 3 beautiful but fierce creatures with scales like polished ebony and eyes that glowed like embers. Ogwok, consumed by desire, gathered his bravest warriors and rode into the cave under the cover of night. With the wisdom of the old diviners and the might of his warriors, he struck down Aganya's daughters, piercing their hearts with iron-tipped spears. Their agonized cries shook the earth, but the king and his men plundered the treasure, leaving behind only fire and death. But the dragon was not dead. When Aganya returned to find the lifeless bodies of her daughters, a terrible wail burst from her throat, shaking the mountains. The sky darkened, and storms raged for 7 days and 7 nights. The rivers overflowed, and famine fell upon Ohio. Crops withered, and children wasted away from hunger. Then, on the 8th night, Aganya descended upon the palace, her colossal form blotting out the moon. Her voice rumbled like thunder, shaking the walls of the king's court. "You have taken my daughters, and now, I shall take yours," she roared. "In every generation, your bloodline must surrender 3 princesses to my wrath. If you fail, I shall rain fire upon your land until not even the bones of your people remain." Ogwok, knowing he could not fight the beast, bowed his head and swore the oath. And so, the curse began. For many generations, the kings of Ohio upheld the bargain. When the firstborn princesses of the royal household came of age, they were bound in chains of palm fronds and carried to the mouth of Udomarai cave, where the dragon would swallow them whole. But in the 2nd generation, a cunning king, Akubio, devised a deceitful plan. Instead of offering his true daughters, he commanded his council to find maidens from distant lands, women of extraordinary beauty, and wed them into the royal family. Once they bore the title of princesses, they were sacrificed in place of the king's blood. For years, this trick worked. The kingdom flourished, and the people believed the curse had been conquered. But the cries of the sacrificed maidens never faded. Their spirits whispered in the night winds, seeking vengeance for the injustice done to them. The deception continued into the 3rd generation under Obiechefio, a ruler who had perfected the art of false sacrifice. Each time the time of offering neared, the king's messengers scoured the land for maidens, promising them wealth and status, only to lead them to their doom. But fate had grown weary of the trickery. And in this generation, fate gave birth to a warrior. Amanda was no ordinary maiden. She was born in the distant village of Nkyum, where the hills met the sky. Her father, a humble hunter, had raised her like a son, teaching her the way of the spear and the wisdom of the land. She moved with the swiftness of the antelope and struck with the precision of the falcon. One fateful day, the king's messengers arrived in Nkyum, seeking a bride for the crown prince. They marveled at Amanda's beauty, her strength, and the fire in her eyes. "Surely," they whispered, "this one is fit to be a queen." But Amanda's mother, an old woman with the sight of the spirits, saw the shadows behind their smiles. She grabbed Amanda's hands and whispered, "Do not go, my daughter. Death follows them." But Amanda, driven by the curiosity of her heart, made her choice. "If there is danger, then I must see it for myself." And so, she was taken to the palace, where she was wed to the prince in a grand ceremony. The people of Ohio celebrated her as their future queen, never knowing the fate that awaited her. Then, the time of sacrifice came. On the day of the offering, Amanda and 2 other maidens were bound and led toward the dark mouth of Udomarai cave. But unlike the others before her, Amanda did not weep. She did not beg. She walked with her head high, her spirit unbroken. As they neared the cave, she spoke. "Tell me, is this what your fathers have done? Deceived the dragon with the blood of innocent women?" The ground trembled as Aganya emerged, her massive form casting an eerie shadow over the valley. Her eyes, filled with ancient rage, scanned the trembling sacrifices before her. But when she saw Amanda, something shifted. "You," the dragon rumbled. "You do not shake. You do not cry. Why?" Amanda stepped forward, her gaze unwavering. "Because I was not born to be food for you. I was born to fight." Aganya let out a roar of laughter, one that echoed through the mountains. "You fight me? What can a mortal girl do against a beast such as I?" But Amanda was prepared. She had hidden a dagger carved from the bone of an old lion within the folds of her dress, a dagger blessed by the spirits of the land. With the swiftness of the wind, she leaped onto the dragon's snout, driving the blade deep into the beast's eye. Aganya let out a deafening scream, her body writhing in agony. The sky darkened, and for the first time in centuries, the dragon fell. Amanda stood over the wounded beast, her chest heaving. "End this curse," she commanded. The dragon, weakened and broken, breathed heavily. "They have deceived me for too long," she whispered. "For the blood they have spilled, I should burn this kingdom to ash." "But not all are guilty," Amanda argued. "Free the innocent and punish the wicked." Aganya considered this and, with her last breath, lifted her head toward the palace. The sky burned red as fire erupted from her throat, engulfing the king's court in a storm of flames. The wicked rulers fell, their screams swallowed by the roaring inferno. And then, silence. The dragon, spent of her fury, closed her eyes for the final time, her body turning to stone, forever guarding the cave. With the curse broken and the wicked bloodline ended, the people of Ohio turned to Amanda, their savior. "You have defeated the dragon and cleansed our kingdom of its sins," the elders proclaimed. "Rule us, Amanda the brave." And so, Amanda became the first warrior queen of Ohio, a ruler of justice and honor. Under her reign, no woman was ever sacrificed again, and the land, once cursed, blossomed into prosperity. Her story was passed down through generations, sung by griots and written in the winds that whispered through the great forest. And though the dragon no longer lived, some say that on certain nights, when the moon is full, her spirit lingers near Udomarai cave, watching over the land, ensuring that no ruler ever dares to repeat the sins of the past. Thus ended the reign of wicked kings, and thus began the age of Amanda the Brave. The end.